Bismillah. I'll just answer like two questions. We have an activity. This one saying, Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Please elaborate on the verse of the Quran about sending salat and salam on the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam. What's the authentic ways of doing this? Jazakumullah khairan. Salam. The authentic ways of doing it, I think it's kind of clear the authentic way of doing it. What's unclear is like the unauthentic ways of doing it. So clearly, if a person, how do you say salat and salam on the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam? By doing just that. You'd say sallallahu alaihi wasallam, or you'd say Allahumma salli ala Muhammadin wa ala ali Muhammad, kama sallaita ala Ibrahim wa ala ali Ibrahim, wa barak ala Muhammadin wa ala ali Muhammad, kama barakta ala Ibrahim wa ala ali Ibrahim fil alameen innaka Hamidun Majid. Right? So you'd say that, you could repeat that multiple times. You'd say sallallahu alaihi wasallam multiple times, and then there might be other variations. The main thing is that you're sending salah and salam on the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam. Some of the unauthentic ways of doing it, a person, for example, might, like in a gathering, they'll say, "Oh, the Prophet has now come in our presence," and everybody like stands up, for example, "Oh, the Prophet is here," and so on and so forth. So that might be like, like, whoa, a second, hold on here. Right? And even in the hadith, the Prophet ﷺ, like an angel brings the salam to the Prophet ﷺ. So he's not conversing with anybody. And it's brought to the Prophet ﷺ, the Prophet responds that salam. But the Prophet is not present and in gatherings like that. And there might be other ways. I'm not too familiar with it. It's more of like aqidah classes. Inshallah ta'ala, you'll learn more about that. This question is, what's the best way to seek Allah's love? And throughout the Quran, there you'll find the verses like Wallahu yuhibbul, right? Allah loves this and Allah loves that, and verses Qul in kuntum tuhibbun Allah fattabi'uni. Like if you say that you love Allah, follow me, yuhibbukum Allah. You'll find that again and again through the Quran. Wallahu yuhibbut tawwabin wa yuhibbul mutatahhirin. So if you research through the Quran, you'll find many different ways to seek out the love of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. But bottom line is this: the best way that you can come closer to Allah is through that which He made fard. Okay? So if something is fard, such as like your fard salah, right? And your fard zakah, and your fard fasting in Ramadan, and your fard hajj, these are the best things that you can use to come closer to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. After that, after the fard things, so, and the reason I mention this is a lot of times, like Islam is simple. Someone would want to come closer to Allah. At the end of a lecture, I would say, if you would like to implement, the beautiful things that we're saying, look to your fard prayers and go and establish your salah. It's as simple as that. That's the most important thing for you to come closer to Allah, is to establish your salah, right? And in your Ramadan, taking care of your Ramadan. A lot of people fast, but really, focusing on perfecting your fasting for Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, performing hajj, learning about zakah and paying your zakah. Inshallah ta'ala, you have that. And then after the fard is the nawafil. Nawafil are those like, the reason I say nawafil is like the voluntary, supererogatory actions. So that might be in salah, you would do like, nafil prayer or the sunnah prayers before, after, and so on and so forth. What would be nafil for Ramadan fasting? Nafil would be fasting like Mondays and Thursdays, fasting, 3 days of the month, 13th, 14th, and 15th, and so on. That's nafil. When it comes to zakah, what would be nafil? Would be sadaqah, charity, correct? So you're giving voluntary charity. You don't have to give the charity. You don't have to, do this and that, but yet you're still doing it. And when it comes to hajj, what would be voluntary in regards to that? Would be performing umrah. And the Prophet ﷺ said, follow an umrah up with another umrah, like tabi'u bayna al-umrati wal-umrah. Like, so you're following, you do an umrah, you do another umrah, and so on and so forth. They're voluntary, but these are ways after the fard to come closer to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala.